Are you scared of backpacking alone because you think you'll get lost, run into wildlife and strange people, or feel lonely while you're out there? You're not alone. Over the last few years, I've talked to hundreds of women one-on-one asking them about their fears and what holds them back from going out backpacking alone. Turns out we all share some of the same fears, myself included. Hey, I'm Kathleen, a food-motivated hiker, solo backpacker, backpacking coach for women, and the hungry hiker here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to debunk 10 common backpacking myths that keep a lot of people from going out in the backcountry alone. By the end of this video, you'll feel way more confident about the idea of backpacking alone because you'll not only learn the truth behind each of these misconceptions, but you'll also are going to get the real honest truth about solo backpacking. So let's get into it. Starting with myth number 1. You need to be an expert to go backpacking alone. Guess what? You don't need to be a pro to start backpacking alone. You can honestly learn as you go. Here are some tips on how to start planning your first solo backpacking trip. Look for a familiar, well-maintained, well-traveled trail that's close to home. Choose a route that has low mileage and low elevation gain. This way you'll have enough energy to get to camp and have plenty of time to enjoy your time while you're there. And if you're not quite ready to commit to being out on trail alone, start with camping at an established drive-up campground. This way you still get the practice of using your gear, setting up camp, and sleeping in your tent. But if you get scared or feel uncomfortable, you could easily pack up your camp, get in your car, and head back home. You don't need to have years of backpacking experience to go backpacking alone. You just need to start with planning your first trip. I'm curious, what's something holding you back from going on your first solo backpacking trip? Tell me in the comments below. Myth number 2, backpacking alone is dangerous for women. It's 2025. Can we just stop with this limiting belief that the outdoors is not a safe place for women already? The following questions are questions I've been asked by both men and women while I've been out hiking alone. Aren't you scared to hike alone? Isn't it dangerous to be out here by yourself? Where's your boyfriend or husband? I didn't know I needed a husband or a boyfriend to be out here hiking alone. Do you carry a weapon? Why don't you carry a gun? 9 times out of 10, you probably wouldn't ask a man hiking alone any of these questions, so why would you ask a woman? Asking anyone hiking alone, no matter what their gender is, any of these questions is completely inappropriate. Solo backpacking can be safe for anyone, even if you are a woman, especially with proper preparation. Fun fact, the risk of dying in a car accident is significantly higher than the risk of dying while hiking in the backcountry. Here are some tips on how to backpack alone safely. Plan ahead. Do your research by first deciding where you want to go, research the current trail conditions, and check the weather forecast for the area, as well as road conditions leading to the trailhead. Bring the right gear for the right conditions in the terrain, and always pack the 10 essentials. Know your limits. Be honest with yourself about your skills and capabilities, and set realistic goals for your trip. Since you're probably not sure what you're capable of yet, it's best to start small, keep it short, and pick a well-established trail that's closer to home. Choose well-traveled trails. You're less likely to get lost on a well-traveled trail because the trail will probably be well marked. If you're not familiar with the area, pick a lower mileage, lower elevation trail to help bring down the risk level for your trip. I also recommend picking a campsite at least 3 to 5 miles from any nearby trailhead, parking lot, or road for added safety. Carry whatever you need to feel safe. This could be a whistle, a satellite messenger, bear spray, a knife, or even extra food and water. Before purchasing a whistle, check to see if your pack already has one. Most packs will have a built-in whistle on the sternum strap. A first aid kit. Being out on trail by yourself means you need to be 100% self-reliant in the backcountry, especially if you get injured while you're out there. Always carry a fully stocked first aid kit with anything you might need in the event of an on-trail emergency, and consider taking a wilderness first aid course. And stay connected. Let a trusted friend or family member know about your route and expected return time. Throughout your trip, you can check in with your contact person using a satellite messenger to let them know how your hike is going. Make sure all of your electronics are fully charged, like your phone and satellite messenger, and that you have a way to charge these devices while you're out on trail. If you're using a digital navigation system, make sure you download a map of the area that you'll be hiking in onto your phone before you leave cell and Wi-Fi service. Real quick, while we're on the topic of how backpacking alone is not dangerous for women, I want to share with you an online backpacking program I created for women who want to go from feeling scared and intimidated about backpacking to feeling comfortable planning their trips so that they feel confident getting out on trail by themselves. The Confident Solo Female Backpacker System is not only a comprehensive online self-paced training program, it's also ongoing coaching for your entire backpacking journey, includes a private community of like-minded women hikers and backpackers located all across the country, gives students in the program an exclusive exclusive opportunity to join me for group backpacking trips throughout the year. And once you're enrolled, you get lifetime access to the program. If you're a woman who's new to backpacking and doesn't know where to start with planning an overnight backpacking trip, or you're tired of waiting for someone else to go backpacking with you, but you keep letting your fears and other people's fears talk you out of getting out on trail alone, then this program is designed just for you. If you're ready to make yourself and achieving your backpacking goals a priority this year, and you'd like a step-by-step guide to help you achieve those goals along with having access to an empowering community of like-minded women who will support you along the way, then click the link below to schedule a free one-on-one Zoom call with me. During our call, I'll walk you through all the details, answer any questions you have about the program, and if the Confident Solo Female Backpacker System is a good fit for you, you'll get the chance to enroll on our call. Okay, back to the video. Myth number 3, you have to be ultralight to be a real backpacker. Packing light is great, but it's more important to pack smart. You don't need to be ultralight and have a base weight in the single digits in order to be a real backpacker. Here's the basic gear you'll need for any backpacking trip: a pack, a sleep system, a comfortable pair of shoes to hike in, the 10 essentials, which includes food, water, a way to treat your water, proper layers for warmth, and a couple pairs of good socks, a shelter, a knife and gear repair, a first aid kit, some sort of illumination like a headlamp, navigation, and sun protection. And maybe a few luxury items to help you feel more comfortable while you're out on trail, like a pillow or a pair of camp shoes. When it comes to choosing and packing backpacking gear, it's all about finding the right balance between keeping it light and being comfortable. Pack light, but pack right. You don't need to carry everything, but you also don't want to skimp on the essentials either. Myth number 4, you need to be fit before you can go backpacking alone. You don't have to be in crazy physical shape or be uber fit or even weigh a certain amount before you can go backpacking. There's no required fitness level for you to become a backpacker. Anyone who wants to be a backpacker can start wherever they're at with the body that they're in and build up their hiking fitness before going on a backpacking trip. The best way to train for hiking and backpacking is to go hiking and backpacking. Physical training can not only help reduce the risk of injury, but will also help you enjoy yourself more while you're out on trail. To physically train for backpacking, you'll want to focus on 3 key components: cardio, strength training, and flexibility training. To build up cardio endurance, focus on activities like hiking, stair climbing, and running. For strength training, target your legs, cores, and glutes with exercises like squats, lunges, deadlifts, and calf raises. Make sure to include some flexibility training in there as well, with hamstring stretches, hip flexor stretches, and shoulder stretches. A regular yoga practice is also a great option for flexibility training. As you make your way through any sort of training program, you'll want to gradually increase the weight and intensity of the exercises you're doing as you get closer to going on your backpacking trip. For example, with hiking, start with hiking shorter distances and gradually increase the distance, elevation, and the amount of weight you carry in your pack as you make your way through your training regimen and your fitness improves. Always listen to your body. Pay attention to any sort of pain signals and rest whenever you need to. And before beginning any sort of training program, always consult your medical provider first to ensure that the training program is right for you. Myth number 5, I'll get lost if I'm out there by myself. On-trail navigation has never been easier with maps, GPS devices, hiking apps, and trail signs. Many of the digital tools like GPS devices and hiking apps can not only be used to help you stay found with on-trail navigation, but can also be used during the trip planning process, helping to better prepare you for any backpacking trip you want to go on. The 2 keys to staying found while you're out on trail are to always be aware of your surroundings and to bring a navigation system and know how to use it. A navigation system could be a paper map of the area you plan on traveling in along with a compass, or it could be a downloaded digital map of the area you plan on traveling in on a hiking app like All Trails, Gaia GPS, Onyx Backcountry, or if you plan on hiking a long distance trail, the Far Out app. Before heading out to the trail, develop and practice your navigation skills. Start by taking a wilderness navigation class to help you become familiar and comfortable with using the navigation system of your choice. Learn how to read a map. Learn how to use the scale on the map to measure distances. Learn how to locate important features on a map like trails, roads, trail junctions, landmarks, water sources, and campsites. You can use a navigation system to help with planning your backpacking trip by being able to research and create the route for your trip. You'll get a better idea of what the total and daily mileage will be for your route, along with the elevation profile. You'll also be able to use your navigation system system to locate important features along your route like trail junctions, water sources, and campsites before ever stepping foot on trail. For on-trail navigation, if you're using a paper map, make sure you have a map for the area that you plan on traveling in. If you're using a digital navigation system, always make sure to download a map of the area you plan on traveling in onto your phone before losing cell or Wi-Fi service. One of the benefits with using a digital map or hiking app is the GPS feature. Even with your phone being offline or in airplane mode, you can still access the GPS feature, which shows you exactly where you are on the map. Say somehow you wandered off trail, you can use the GPS feature to help guide you back to wherever you want to go. If you're using a digital map, GPS device, or hiking app on your phone, make sure to always bring extra batteries or a battery pack you can use to recharge your digital devices, and always carry a paper map of the area you're hiking in as a backup. Navigation systems aside, always be aware of your surroundings while you're out on trail. Stay on the designated trail and pay attention to trail signs and trail markers, especially at junctions. Note natural landmarks you pass along the way. Being aware of what's around you at all times can be helpful with navigating your way back if you get turned around. And before you head out to the trail by yourself, make sure you leave your hiking plans and trip itinerary with someone at home whom you trust. This way, if for some unlikely chance you get lost and don't come back when you're supposed to, someone will know when and where to come looking for you. Myth number 6, backpacking alone isn't safe because of wildlife and strangers. Two common fears I hear come up all the time whenever I talk to women about their backpacking goals and what's holding them back from getting out on trail by themselves is encountering wildlife and strange people. It's completely normal to feel nervous and anxious about wildlife, especially when you're hiking alone. What you might not realize is that wildlife encounters are actually pretty rare. A lot of hikers and backpackers consider themselves lucky if they do get to see wildlife out on trail because it doesn't happen very often. Here are a few ways you can stay safe while helping to minimize the risk of encountering wildlife when you're out on trail alone. When it comes to bear safety, consider using a hard-sided bear canister for food storage. Always keep a clean campsite. Don't cook near your tent, and make sure all of your food and smelly items are stored inside the bear canister and not in your tent. While you're hiking during the day, make some noise by clapping, banging your trekking poles together, or talking out loud to help alert nearby animals of your presence. If you do see a bear while you're out on trail, don't run. Stay calm, back away slowly, and try to avoid making eye contact. If you see a snake, just step back and give it plenty of space. And for any wildlife encounter you may experience out on trail, always observe wildlife from a distance. Don't follow or approach them. Always give wildlife a wide berth and as much space as possible, and never feed the animals. Now, let's talk about another common fear a lot of women have about hiking and backpacking alone, which is encountering strangers. Another valid fear. Here are some things to keep in mind whenever you encounter strangers while you're out on trail alone. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, trust your gut. Most of the time, your intuition will guide you into the right direction, whether that's staying away from someone or leaving a situation. Camp near other backpackers. This might seem counterintuitive, but when you're out on trail alone, sometimes it feels more comfortable to camp at a site where there are other tents set up as opposed to choosing a site all to yourself. When I'm out on trail by myself and I have to decide between setting up at a campsite alone or at a site where there's one or two other tents, I'm generally going to choose the site with the other tents. For me, it's safety in numbers. The way I look at it is with more people around, there's less likely of a chance of wildlife encounter happening at camp, and it's comforting to know that there's at least one other person within shouting distance if something were to happen where I needed help. Be friendly, but be cautious. It's okay to say hi and chat with other hikers if it feels right. It also is okay if you want to keep moving and not chat with other hikers at all. If you do decide to engage with another hiker on trail, always trust your instincts about how much information you share with that person. Don't feel like you need to explain why you're out on trail by yourself, where you plan on camping later that night, or any other personal details. And an exit strategy. If you feel uncomfortable or someone makes you uneasy, it's totally okay to excuse yourself and move on. Just keep a safe distance and walk away if you feel the need to. Backpacking, whether you're in a group or go solo, should always be about enjoying the experience, not having to live in fear. It's totally normal to have fears and concerns when hiking and backpacking alone, but don't live in your fears. Make a plan on how you're going to face your fears whenever they come up while you're out on trail alone. The more time you spend out on trail by yourself and the more fears you face and overcome, the more you'll realize how empowering it is to be independent and self-reliant out in the backcountry. And just know, fears lose power when you face them. Myth number 7, you need to carry a gun if you're going backpacking alone. The one question I get asked the most about my solo backpacking adventures is always, do you carry a gun? I want to squash this one publicly once and for all. I choose not to carry a gun in the backcountry, and here's why. Carrying a gun isn't necessary for solo backpacking. Guns are heavy, they need to be easily accessible for them to be effective, you need to know how to use it properly, and you can get yourself in a much bigger predicament using a gun in the backcountry than you can with carrying any other safety items like bear spray, a knife, your wits, and intuition. However, if carrying a gun is something that helps you feel more comfortable with being alone out in the backcountry, you're a responsible gun owner, and you're recreating in a place where you can legally carry a gun, then do what makes you feel safe and comfortable and bring your gun. You don't need to carry a gun if you're going backpacking alone. There are lots of different options available for backpackers when it comes to carrying gear that makes them feel safe and comfortable. A gun doesn't have to be one of them. Myth number 8, you need to buy expensive backpacking gear. You don't need to buy the latest, greatest, lightest, most expensive backpacking gear in order to be a real backpacker. I'm a big fan of investing in quality backpacking gear, but here's the thing. If you're new to backpacking, you probably aren't sure what gear you'll need yet. My recommendation for when you're first starting out is to try as much different backpacking gear as you can. See what you like, see what fits, figure out what you're most likely to use and what you'll need for the types of trips that you want to go on. There are plenty of budget-friendly gear options out there to help you get started on your backpacking journey. So instead of spending a bunch of money right away on gear you're not sure you'll need, like, or ever use, consider borrowing gear from friends or local gear libraries, renting gear from local outdoor retailers like REI or online from Outdoors Geek, buying used or secondhand gear from places like REI Resupply, local outdoor consignment shops, Facebook Marketplace, garage sales, or gear swaps, and shopping seasonal sales at retailers like REI, backcountry.com, Amazon, or local gear shops. It's really easy to get caught up in buying the latest, greatest, best gear because you see it in the local outdoor retailers or you hear your favorite outdoor influencer talk about it on YouTube. There are countless videos and several channels here on YouTube that solely focus on reviewing backpacking gear, which makes it easy to go down the rabbit hole and feel overwhelmed with trying to figure out what gear you'll need for your upcoming backpacking trip. To avoid gear overload, focus on the basics first. Look for gear that's going to help you feel comfortable, stay safe, and enjoy your trip. Start with the 4 big pieces of gear you'll need for every trip, no matter where you go. A pack, a shelter system, a sleep system, and a comfortable pair of shoes to hike in. So no, you don't need to buy expensive gear to go out for your first solo trip. The best backpacking gear is always going to be the gear you use and works for you, not the most expensive, latest, greatest option. Myth number 9, you need to buy expensive backpacking food. You don't have to buy the expensive store-bought freeze-dried meals and pre-packaged backpacking food to have a successful solo backpacking trip. There are plenty of inexpensive DIY food options out there that will fuel your body for any trip you want to go on. When it comes to food on trail, keep it simple. Your body needs carbs, protein, and fats. All of things which you can find in easy, basic, non-expensive foods from your local grocery store. You can easily make your own lightweight and nutritious backpacking meals at home. Some examples include instant oatmeal, and then for added energy, add nuts, dried fruit, or peanut butter. Rice and beans using instant rice or pasta paired with dehydrated beans for a filling, high-protein meal. Or DIY energy bars like my Holy Moly breakfast bars that a lot of people here on YouTube seem to love. And even simple snacks like trail mix, nuts, jerky, dried fruit, or tortillas with peanut butter if you're looking for no-cook options. If you're looking for backpacking meal ideas you can find in the grocery store, check out my grocery store backpacking meal videos, which I'll include a link for here and down in the video description below. There's also the option to make your own dehydrated and freeze-dried backpacking meals at home. These DIY meal options will require an upfront cost in either investing in a food dehydrator or freeze dryer, but if you're someone who plans on eating a lot of meals out in the backcountry, don't want to buy the expensive store-bought freeze-dried food, and want to bring the meals you enjoy eating at home out on trail with you, then getting a dehydrator or a freeze dryer could be a worthy investment. Check out this video where I talk about the differences between dehydrated and freeze-dried food and share my entire process of how I make my own backpacking meals using both of these options. So no, you don't need expensive backpacking food in order to go backpacking alone. Just get creative. Look for cheap and easy meal options in your grocery store or consider making your own backpacking meals at home. And finally, myth number 10 is that solo backpacking is lonely. When talking about all the backpacking trips I've gone on by myself, people will often ask me if I ever feel lonely while I'm out there. My answer is, not really. When people ask me if solo backpacking is lonely, they often picture me hiking alone for days on end without any sort of human interaction, just walking for hours and miles in complete silence. This couldn't be farther from the truth. The difference between being alone and being lonely is a mindset. Solo backpacking is an opportunity to be alone with your thoughts and surroundings, but that doesn't have to translate to loneliness. For me, solo backpacking is a chance to get in touch with myself and enjoy my me time out on trail, far away from noise and distractions of everyday life. Solo backpacking gives you a chance to really connect with nature and everything around you. You might see wildlife, you'll feel the elements, and you get to experience the trail in a special way that's often missed if you're hiking with a group. Just because you're backpacking solo doesn't mean you're the only one out on trail either. You'll more than likely meet other backpackers both on trail during the day and at a shared campsite at night. I often find the backpacking community to be incredibly friendly and supportive, especially on popular trails, and I've met some of the best people while out backpacking alone. Solo backpacking also doesn't mean you have to be fully cut off from the real world. You can choose to stay connected to the world thanks to modern technology like satellite messengers and keeping your phone charged for emergency contact. There are so many reasons why I love solo backpacking. It pushes me to get out of my comfort zone and it helps me build confidence. It's a great lesson in learning to trust my instincts, navigate challenges, and problem solve on my own. With every trip I go on, I get a deeper sense of appreciation for the people around me and the time I get to spend focusing on myself. Solo backpacking has always given me space to help me be creative, give me good ideas, allow me to heal, and think through tough decisions. Instead of worrying about having to keep up with a group, I'm free to experience the trail in my own way by getting to set my own pace while getting to take as many breaks and pictures as I want to along the way. My favorite part of solo backpacking is the sense of empowerment I get each time I complete one of my trips. It's the ultimate confidence booster because let's face it, solo backpacking is not easy. If it were, everybody would be doing it. There's a lot of power in knowing that you can be 100% self-reliant in the backcountry. So no, solo backpacking isn't lonely. It's an opportunity to find solitude without isolation. It's a way to connect with the world around you, with yourself, and even the other hikers you meet out on trail. Solo backpacking can be one of the most rewarding and empowering things you can do for yourself. If you're thinking about getting out on trail by yourself this year, let me be the first to tell you that you got this. Backpacking alone isn't as scary as it seems. With the right mindset and proper planning, anyone can thrive while backpacking alone. Trust me, I've hiked hundreds, maybe even thousands of miles by myself out in the backcountry up until this point. So if I can do it, you can too. So there you have it, 10 common backpacking myths debunked. Now you know the real honest truth about solo backpacking. Which one of these myths surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments below. If you liked this video and got some value out of it, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week and hit the bell icon to get notified each time new videos are posted. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trekking.